going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Some of you guys know and may not know that I paint lures as well as fish. So today I got a little project that I'm gonna be doing. With the weather changing to that warmer summertime, we're in the hot part of summer now. The fish are starting to go a little deeper. So I'm getting some different crankbaits. I'm fishing with those a little bit more, and I'm starting to catch fish deeper now. So I have a color, which most of you guys know, is the Mardi Gras color in the DT6, which is this guy right here. It's very beat up, and this one's gonna need to be repainted and repaired. But so this color right here, it works really, really well. And you can only get it in this DT6, which dives to 6 feet, and it's starting to be a little bit less effective. Not saying that it doesn't catch fish whenever I go out and use it, but they're going a little deeper at this time of year. So I'm going to paint this on my new favorite, which is the X3, the XD, and the X3, or 3XD, sorry. I don't know why I keep messing that up, but it's 3XD, and it dives 10 to 12 feet versus the DT6 only dives to like 6 feet, and if you really crank it, you might be able to get 8-10 feet out of it, but you're gonna have to be blasting it to get that speed. But the XD from Strike King, it's a plastic lure versus the DT6 is a balsa wood crankbait, and it's a little bit loud, has a little bit more rattles in it, and it's a little louder. So I don't know exactly how it's going to do in this pattern, if they're going to react to it better, or if it's not going to work at all. But you know, that's the beauty of being able to paint my own lures, is I can buy something that I know the pattern is, you know, this is your standard crankbait, you know, just shad pattern. You can buy these everywhere, and you know, these fish have probably seen this a million times, but I put my own paint job on it. It might be the difference between them just letting this go by and them actually eating it. So let's get into it, and I'll show you how to custom paint a crankbait. Alright, so this is the Central Pneumatic, the very first compressor that I started out with. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to show you guys just how loud this thing is. It's awful. Alright, so this is what I got. Got this from Harbor Freight. I think it was around $130. My neighbor has this exact compressor, and whenever I used it for the very first time, I was very impressed with just how quiet this is. So let's get it unboxed and check it out. The instructions that come with it, nobody needs that. Need 2 hands. Right, comes wrapped up. Pretty nice. Let's get this one plugged up. Cords on the side. On-off switches here. Valve is closed. Just for comparison again. Awful. made a difference. And that was the only thing that was really rattling.
It's a little loose.
There we go. I have a hose already hooked up and mounted to a where I can control my pressure right here to my airbrush. So we'll get into that more in detail in the future, but that's how I have my little setup. So quick connect right there. If we want to, we can release our pressure. Close. Turn it on. I'm ready for spraying. Alright, so I'm not going to get super detailed on this just because I want this to be a real short video. But I'm going to kind of go over what I'm using and we'll go from there. So I got some Cast King split ring pliers. These work really well. So I'll get this out the pack. So there's your goal there. Just to grab it on the split ring side where it's facing toward the crankbait eye. I don't know if you can see that, but you get it to spin around, and that's the easiest way to take it off. But I'm gonna get both these taken off, and I'll show you what the next step is after that. So you just keep spinning it around, and then it'll come right off. So you see how it's got this shiny surface on it? I'll take some 220 sandpaper, I'm gonna scuff it up. I'm gonna get that off of there, which is just a clear coat to give it a surface to be painted to. And I'm also going to take tape up the bill, so that way whenever I am spraying this, I don't get paint on this surface. I'll show you how I tape it up real quick. Some regular tape, masking tape. Let's go. Straight across, just like that. Wrapped around the main part of the bill. Get it all down. And then I'm gonna cut two smaller corner pieces and go at an angle and cover up the rest of the bill. One side done. Go. Taped up. Now I'm going to scuff it up, and then we'll be ready for a base coat. Looks pretty good to me. Doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be kind of scuffed up. Alright, I'm going to change camera angle on you, and I'm going to bring you in real close. Alright, we got it loaded in with our helping hands. I'm going to lay down a base coat of black. It's detail black. It's by Wicked Colors. And I'm using a Iwata Eclipse. Turn my exhaust fan on. It may be a little loud, but it keeps the overspray from coming back on the camera. You can see it. Just regular hair dart. That's the first coat. You can see it doesn't really cover. It's real light. You can still see partially through it. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect because this is just a base coat. You know, so it doesn't matter if there's little spots that are kind of missed here and there. Mainly you want it to be a one consistent tone, and that way the paint that you lay over it, the next level, it won't end up being blotchy. Right now I'm just trying to use all the paint that's in the cup. There it is. And I'm cleaning my gun in between colors. Base coat. Alright, my next step is going to be, I'm going to mix my colors up for the green tone for the crankbait, which is going to be this base color that you see most of the bait colored in that green tone. I'll give you two of my colors, but you don't get the secret color. Poison green, Createx color. Sorry, not Createx. It's Auto Air Colors in the Candy 2O. This is a pearlized Createx and a pearl satin gold. That's all you get. Alright, here we go. Careful with this color because it's a lot thinner and it'll run on me, so I gotta build it up slowly. I'll heat set this and then we'll be right back. Alright, we're gonna go to our next layer. quality is going to come out on this. It's really hard to film like real close detail with a GoPro. I may end up changing the camera in the future to do this. This one's beat up, but here's your comparison. Alright, so I got some black loaded in. I'm going to kind of do everything all at once. I'm going to go ahead and lay down my stencil pattern first. This is the stencil that I have that I use for the crawfish sides, for the scales, or plates, whatever you want to call them. But I'm going to get this lined up and spray it on, and you'll see how that looks once I get it laid on. Alright, for one side, I gotta dry that, and then we'll flip it over and we'll do the other side. Whenever I laid this stencil, I tried to line the bottom part up with the middle of the eye, so it'll give me a reference to do it on the other side. There you go, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna get the top shaded. Pretty happy with that. And then we're gonna lay down an orange throat, and we'll go over the whole bait with some gold. I'm gonna do the throat. There's our color. Gotta go real light with this because it's thin. Right now that's not the color that I want, so I'm gonna put a little bit of white underneath it, and then I'm gonna go back over it. Got our color loaded back in. We're gonna go back over that white. There we go. See how much brighter? It looks so much better. Alright, we're gonna dry this up, and then we're gonna lay our gold over the last part. I'm gonna use this again for the last bit of gold dusting. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna black out the eyes. I think it'll give it a nice pop on this bait. So after we get done with the gold, I'll load in a little bit more black and finish out the eyes. All right, I use a clear called KBS, and that's what I'm gonna dip this into. And I'm gonna dip it in the clear, and then I'm gonna give you the close-up so that way you can really tell what it looks like. Because whenever it isn't cleared, you don't really see the details because it's a matte finish before it's cleared. So I'll clear it, and then you can really see what it's gonna look like. But that's what it looks like matte. We'll get the tape peeled off, get it dipped in clear, and then we'll be right back. Well, actually, I'll show you the whole dipping process as well. Alright, super simple process. Put your wire through, and we're going to dip it into a jar of KBS. Get a drip wire. Back on. Alright, I'm going to set this other crankbait up and you can see it next to this one. Alright, I'll take you off here and show you around. I hope I can get this to be as clear as possible. Make sure there's nothing on the lens. Alright, now this one's beat up, so it's not going to be exact because it's beat up, but hopefully you can tell just how close these are. And this is the original paint job on this. All right. All right, everybody. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna give you one last look at it. turned out great. I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna be putting this to the test here in the future. Right. So, let me know in the comments what you think about this type of setup. I'm still gonna keep working on it. I'm not real happy with the way the camera angle is and how clear the picture is. So I'm gonna keep working on that. I tried even a 3D printed mount to try to get the camera in closer and try to give you guys the best look at what I'm doing. It is really difficult to shoot the process of airbrushing. I don't know why, but it is. It's hard to do. But I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one.